Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Kajaria Ceramics Limited Q1 FY22 conference call hosted by Investec India. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Ritesh Shah, Head Mid-Market Coverage and ESG. Thank you, and over to you.
Thanks, Stanford. Welcome all to Kajaria Ceramics Q1 FY22 conference call. We have with us the entire management team, including Sri Ashok Kajaria, Chairman and Managing Director. Along with him, we have Sri Chetan Kajaria and Sri Rishi Kajaria, Joint Managing Directors. Also, we have Sri Sanjeev Agarwal, CFO of the company. I'll request Mr. Kajaria for initial remarks, post which we will open the session for Q&A. Over to you, Ashok ji.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the Q1 F22 earnings call of Kajaria Ceramics Limited. We sincerely hope that you and your family are safe and healthy. I have with me my sons Chetan and Rishi, Sanjeev our CFO, and Pallavi Balla looking after investor relations on this con call. Our nation has been quite adversely hit by the second wave of COVID, and our priority has always been and will always be the safety of all our stakeholders, particularly our employees. We pray for their safety and good health of each individual and hope that our country and the entire world are able to beat the pandemic very soon. The offtake of tiles tapered off in Q1 F22 due to the ongoing second wave. After witnessing a decent April till 20th of April, May was largely impacted due to lockdowns witnessed in several parts of the country. This time the lockdown was not nationwide, it was statewide, as we are aware. However, with the gradual unlocking happening post-May, June was better than May, and July has witnessed significant traction compared to June. I am happy to report that in July we have met our sales target to the 100%. Our plants have operated at an average capacity utilization of 75% during the quarter of April-June, and sales have been to the extent of about 66%. We expect quarter to be much better than Q1, with expectations of faster unlocking across all parts of India. As of today, what the market indications are, except Kerala, most of India has come back to normal. We continue to believe in the long-term growth story of India as the government's focus on infrastructure, spending including investment on roads, railways, ports and low-cost housing. For Kajaria, the positive momentum is further accelerated with an upgrade in India's GDP expectations and the strong recovery of the domestic infrastructure and real estate sectors driven by pent-up demand and resurgence of activity in metro and urban areas. Despite COVID restrictions and lockdowns continuing in several states, our business once again has shown resilience and successfully delivered satisfactory performance. In Q1 F22, consolidated revenue from operations increased by 102% year-on-year to rupees 562 crores from rupees 278 crores in Q1 F21. The increase is mainly due to lower base as of June 2020 quarter, which was severely hit by the COVID-19 and a national lockdown-led disruptions. Revenue from bathware sector grew from 17 crores to 37 crores in Q1. Revenue from plywood segment grew from 2 crores to 5 crores in Q1. Absolute EBITDA margins, operating margin increased to rupees 80.42 crores as compared to a loss of 7.57 crores in Q1 F21. EBITDA margin for the quarter stood at 14.32% as compared to minus 2.73% in the corresponding quarter of the previous year. Consolidated PAT in Q1 has increased to rupees 43 crores, 43.06 crores as against a loss of rupees 27.10 crores in Q1 21. Working capital days on June 30, 21 have gone up mainly due to lower sales and higher production and lower sales in Q1. For the year 21-22, if the current situation is maintained in the country related to pandemic, we are looking at 15 to 16% volume growth for the full year and approximately 20% revenue growth for the full year. With this, I take this opportunity of thanking you for joining us today. Over to you for Q&A, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star, then 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star, then 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, please press star, then 1. The first question is from the line of Sonali Salgaonkar from Jefferies India. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is about margins. So if you could share what is the quantum of price hikes on a YTD basis and also in Q1 that we have taken in both tiles and bathware for passing on the rising cost. And secondly, how should we look at margins from here on going forward? So what is the band of margins that we should look at in FY22?
Two things you have asked. I answer the first question first. As far as the price increase is concerned, first of all, the gas prices have gone through the roof. The gas prices have really went up. For the last quarter of 2021, the gas prices were around 28 rupees per SCM. Today, this is mainly for our Gailpur and Secunderabad plants. As of today, the gas prices have gone up to 35 rupees per SCM for these two plants. Number one. Number two, we have taken a small price hike in the month of April for about 1.5% on all the divisions. And we have taken another 3% price hike for all the divisions on 1st of July. And that's why when I said we are looking at a volume growth of 15 to 16% and revenue growth of 20%. So it basically covers that part. As far as the margins for the year is concerned, I don't think it will be appropriate at this time because as we all know, first quarter was affected due to pandemic. Actual indications will come at the end of the second quarter. So at this stage, it will not be prudent for me to answer what will be the margin like, but I'm sure that with the economy coming back to normal, second quarter will give us a better picture of what the margins would look like.
Got it, sir. So, and secondly, on the current situation, you mentioned that July you were able to achieve your internal sales targets. But what about the inventory levels, both in the channel, and also if you could give us any flavor of rural versus urban in terms of demand?
See, two things happened in July. We have produced at 95% of our capacity and outsourcing, both included, and we have sold at 100%. So inventory will gradually come down. By end of September, I think the inventory will be more or less normal. That's one. As far as rural is concerned, we are all aware this pandemic hit the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 very hard in the month of May. But what happened after having hit in May, second half of May things improved because their immunity is better than what we have at Delhi and Bombay. And the entire May was under lockdown at various states, so it didn't have much impact because the sales were as it is very low. So basically they have come back to normal from the month of June, and right now they are at full swing what they were before.
Got it. So, and my last question, anything about the capex you would like to highlight in terms of capex outlay? And so also just one, clarification, this 3% price hike that you mentioned for all divisions, does it include only ceramic, only tiles or bathware as well? That's it from
I missed out. It only talks about tiles. Bathware we have taken 2 hikes. One was in the month of December where we increased our prices by 5%. Because the brass prices, there are 2 divisions in bathware. One is sanitary ware, one is sanitary fittings. Sanitary fittings is the basic raw material is brass, as we are aware. We took 2 price hikes. One was 5% in the month of December and another 10% on 1st of May. Because the brass prices have gone up from 320 rupees in May last year to 480 rupees now. Prices have gone up by 50%. In sanitary ware, we have taken a price hike of approximately 7% in the last 6 months. Because the gas prices have gone up, sanitary ware, the plant is in Morbi, where the gas is an cost structure.
Got it, sir. Under the CapEx.
CapEx, we are doing 3 CapExes, and I think roughly it is, how much it is costing?
250 crore.
250 crores it will cost, 3 CapExes. All are brownfield expansion, Sonali, and they will all be in place in the last quarter of F22.
Got it, sir. Very helpful. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal from JM Financial. Please go ahead. Achal from JM Financial, your line is unmuted. Please proceed with your question. Achal from JM Financial.
Yeah, hi. Sorry. Good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. My first question is, if you could help us in terms of the average gas cost for us in the first quarter of FY22. You did point out, the gas, but broadly, what would have been the cost for us in UP and South plants for 1Q FY22?
You see, we have many plants, as you know. The Morbi prices, you are aware, because they have changed. Last one was on, I think, 1st of April or 1st of May. For our 2 plants, Dilpur and Secunderabad, the average gas price for the first quarter was around 31.5 to 32 rupees per SCM.
And what would that be in fourth quarter, sir?
It has again gone up steeply to 35 rupees on 1st of July.
Okay. And what would that be in fourth quarter, sir?
I wouldn't know. Fourth quarter. Sorry, fourth quarter was about 28.5 rupees average.
Sorry, I couldn't follow that number. Could you please repeat that, sir?
The fourth quarter was 28.5 rupees average.
28.5. Okay. Understood. In terms of the, in the last quarter, you did talk about the cost savings. Just thought of checking, if you could give any flavor as to what kind of cost reductions are we looking at in FY22 as a whole, and how much of that is realized in first quarter?
There is no such word as cost reduction. You see, 2 things we are going to harp upon. One, we are looking at a volume growth of 15 to 16% for the full year. In spite of the pandemic in quarter 1, we are looking at 15 to 16% volume growth, number 1. 2, whatever is our head count is on 1st of April. The head count will not increase for the next 3 years in spite of the growth we are looking at. Kajaria is looking at a volume growth of 15% plus every year for the next 3 years. But I can only tell you that the head count in Kajaria will not increase for the next 3 years. Whatever we have on 1st of April will remain the same. So that's what we are looking at. Other than that, there is no cost cut. We had no increment of salary in the year 1920. 2021, we cut salary for the first 6 months. We have increased the salary of all the people across the board on 1st of April this year.
Right. What about the A&P part, sir? What kind of spending are we looking at? You have talked about 70 crores for FY22. Are we looking at the same number, or is there any change in that?
No, you see, right, last year we spent close to 46 crores last year. We will definitely like to spend more. But as the things, see, first quarter, because of pandemic, everything got slowed down. As the economy picks up, we will definitely like to spend more for a simple reason. This is what you spend today gives you a result next year onwards. It's not that the same year results come. So it's basically a brand building. Exact amount we will see as we go along, because things improve, we will like to spend more.
Fair point. And just last question, if I may, sir. You have talked about 3% price increase from July. Does that cover the entire fuel cost inflation for us, the gas cost inflation, or is there any more price increase required to offset the same?
See, 2 things have increased. Let me be very honest about it. On 15th of March, the cost of boxes increased, substantial increase of cost, which has never happened in the history of last 32 years. Partly has been rolled back on 1st of July, but that's one cost, and secondly, the cost of gas. I won't say that fully we have recovered, but as we go along, we will see how we can see 2 they are trying to do. How to optimize the plant production also it is happening, because there is no other way than optimize the plant production, and which we are trying to do. As the market opens up, we try to increase production also if possible, and partly we increase the prices, which we have already done on 1st of July. Exact things we will get to know as we go along, because gas prices are very erratic right now. As we all know, you are monitoring a lot of other companies. It's happening, the gas is just not available in the international market. China is lapping up all the gas, as I understand from GAIL. So as the situation develops, we will see, because not necessarily that we pass on the entire benefit at one go because of the market situation. We have to see how the market behaves, and then we take that call.
And is that the reason why you are kind of refraining from giving the margin guidance? The fuel cost is the main reason, or because talking about the kind of volume growth?
Fuel cost is only one thing. You have to understand one thing. April, May, June, everybody has suffered because of pandemic. Now July, as just work out at least for have that patience, and let us have that we work in July, August, September, and give you very fair ideas how the year is going to look like. Because July, August, September will only tell you how the year will look like. It's too early to talk, to be very honest, if you agree with me.
There are many moving parts, like we have taken a price increase, so we have to see the sustainability, there is a possibility that there could be a further hike. Suppose the Morbi is planning to take a hike in fuel price, so that will depend on that, and we, as Mr. Kajaria said, that there was a reduction in paper price. So if the more reduction comes, that will also impact positively on the margin. Higher capacity utilization will give operating leverage. So it will be a combination of 2-3 factors. So which will be over by this quarter end. So we'll be in a clearer position to guide. We ourselves don't know what will be the margin is going to be going forward.
Fair point, sir. That's very helpful, sir. Thank you so much. I'll come back in the queue for more questions.
Next question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Madhav Marda from FIL. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to understand a couple of things from you. Firstly, on the Morbi side, what is the demand supply situation currently, and how is the export momentum proceeding? Just to understand how the impact is on the domestic demand supply.
So this is Chetan here. On the Morbi side, they are exporting a lot. Exports have substantially increased. Also, the expansions have been delayed due to the pandemic and the COVID. That's been delayed by another 6 months. And exports have substantially increased. That's the current situation out there.
And what would your best guess be in terms of the capacity utilization at Morbi right now? Maybe for July, or I understand Q1 is not the right way to look at it.
They are definitely making more than 80-85% of the production. 80-85% of the production is capacity.
Okay, understood. And second question was, Kajaria has a very strong balance sheet, and we'll have very good cash generation even in the next 2 to 3 years. What are we planning to do with the cash? Are we planning to increase the payout ratio at some point? Because even if we grow at 15%, I don't think we require that much of capex, right, going ahead?
You are right. We have a lot of cash balance on the balance sheet, and every year we will be accumulating more cash. You may not have remembered, last time we have revised our dividend policy. So rather than paying 15-20% in the earlier policy, now the revised policy define the payout ratio to between 40-50%. So last year we paid 50%, more than 50% dividend, and which has considered as a final dividend. Money will go in the dividend payout.
And some money.
So I missed the number. How much is that 40% payout ratio, is it?
40-50%.
40 to 50%. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Shah from Investec. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, first, I just wanted to carry Madhav's question. Sir, is it possible to quantify the monthly export numbers? Earlier, you had indicated that the number could increase from 11,000 to 13,000 crores on an annualized basis. Some sense over here, and if you could put that in context with how the container issues are actually playing out. Is it helping the Indian ceramic industry? Specifically looking at the differential in freight charges from India to East to West Coast US versus say China to US. Can you help put these two variables in context, please?
I will answer that point. You see, last year, the industry size was close to 30,000 crores. 20,000 crores was domestic and 10,000 crores was exports. In spite of the pandemic, when all plants were closed in Morbi for the first 3 months of 2021, against 7,700 crores of exports in 1920, they were able to do exports of 10,000 crores. So their focus is very much on exports because India is the second most competitive producer after China. This year we are looking at a size, the industry per se will not grow the domestic market. The domestic market, we are looking at a scenario again because of pandemic, should be around 18,000 crores. The exports will grow at 12,000 crores plus because there is a lot of focus on exports, and the new plants, although they have been delayed, otherwise they were targeting for a much bigger export. So looking at that scenario, fortunately, when you talk about the container freight, in India still the container freights are lower. Like I give you an example for Saudi Arabia. We have a lot of, in spite of anti-dumping duty by Saudi Arabia to India, a lot of exports are going to Saudi Arabia. The freight from Morbi to Saudi Arabia for a 20-foot container is about $1,100. The freight from Shenzhen in China to Saudi Arabia is $4,000. So that is a difference. So India has become, from that point of view, also has very competitive. When I said American market, the freight was $4,000. The freight rates from China to East Coast of America is about $6,600, $500. So we are in exports very, very competitive, Indians. So exports per se will grow. That is also putting a lot of less pressure on the organized players. They are less in the market, and once you lose out on the customer, it's not easy to take it back. Like today, if you ask me to start exporting much, I can't do it because they have already had their customer base. Similarly, I have a domestic-based customer base here. Somani have a domestic. We have an edge there. That's the difference.
Sir, just to take this forward, given the freight differential is so much, is the export pricing different for different regions? Like, are the Indian companies pricing their cargo at a higher price, taking benefit of this short-term phenomena? And what would it mean to profitability on exports versus local sales?
Say it again, please.
Sir, given there is a differential in freight cost or container tariffs from China to US versus say, India to US, or Morbi to Saudi or China to Saudi, what you indicated, $1,100 versus $4,000. Does it mean that the Indian companies are pricing their end product at a higher price as compared to China or at par? Or is it that the Chinese mills are taking a hit on the cost?
This is the unfortunate part of Gujarat. They don't know how to take the prices. Today they have an advantage. A container takes about 1,100 square meters of vitrified tiles. The difference is close to about $2.50. At least $1.50 they could have kept for themselves, which they are not keeping. They are still fighting on a cutthroat pricing. That's the whole problem. But the markets have opened up like anything for them. That's the difference.
Sure. Very helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rahul Agarwal from InCred Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. 3 quick questions. Sir, firstly, on the secular demand turnaround you're seeing from July, just wanted to ask you from your dealer feedback, is it possible to understand, where is the demand essentially coming from? If we have to bifurcate between end customer usage, let's say residential, commercial real estate, or industrial capex, something like that. Could you add some color on this, please?
So basically, demand is coming overall. There is no such specific clarification or demarcation between the residential and the industrial, but mainly Kajaria is a more retail-focused company. Our 70-75% mix is retail, remaining is projects. So we are seeing an upsurge in the residential demand more basically right now. And we're very cautious in the builder segment because of the credit policy.
Yeah, especially from the work from home concept, I think people are renovating their homes a lot. So we're getting a lot of primary demand from the residential sector.
Correct.
Got it, sir. Secondly, on the channel inventory, obviously there is some kind of inventory build-up which has happened for Kajaria. Is it normalized in July, and how does the channel inventory look like?
No, the dealer have less stocks because they have not bought much. You are forgetting, they have not bought much. Kajaria's inventory is on the higher side because we produced 75% and sold 66%. It will not just go away in July. By end of September, it will come back to normal. In spite of the fact that plants will be producing at 95 to 100%.
Got it. So at dealer level, sir, what would be the inventory like? Is it possible to quantify that?
No, they are keeping lesser inventory. You see what has happened, the credit flow to the customer, they have reduced drastically since April last year. And as a result, they are keeping lesser inventory for themselves. They are paying us much better, and that's why you see these numbers of, when you ask this question to Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal, your cash has gone up because the money is coming faster. And they are also not giving much credit, neither we are giving much credit to the dealers.
Got it, sir. And lastly, you gave a guidance of 20% on the value terms in terms of growth this year. Could you help understand something on the sanitary ware and plywood? Overall, last year you did 250 crores. Any guidance on that, please? That's my last question. Thank you.
Ply will let Chetan talk. Ply.
So we did a turnover of 39 crores in plywood last year, and our target this year is 80 crore top line. This will also be helped by the introduction of laminates, which we have launched in the last week of July. So the sales of laminates should start coming in from August onwards. From 39 crores, we are looking at doubling it to 80 crores in this financial year in plywood.
Rishi,
are you there? In bathware and sanitary ware, we did 200 crores last year. We are looking at a 50% jump there. We are looking at crossing 300 crores this year in sanitary ware and faucets, the Kajaria bathware division.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sneha Talreja from Edelweiss Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thanks a lot for the opportunity. Most of the questions are answered. Just two questions from my end. What is Morbi gas prices today versus our own in-house gas prices? For our own plants, you said it is around 32 and it has increased to 35. What would it be for Morbi? And second question related to it is, has Morbi players also, passed on the entire cost increase, and what is the competitive scenario in the domestic market as of now?
Morbi gas prices are currently at about 35, 36. Ours is about 35 plus, close to that. As far as the passing of prices are concerned, Morbi also increased prices, but as I said earlier, Morbi is more focused on exports, and other bigger players like Somany, Johnson, Asian, Granito, they have already increased some prices because the cost has gone up for everybody.
So you mean the pricing gap between Morbi or you or any other top branded players would be largely the same as of now, and there is no change in the competitive intensity by those players?
Yes. I would say the same.
Sure, sir. Got that. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good evening. I have three questions. First, if you could share the product mix, revenue mix between ceramics, PVT and GVT for financial year 21.
For 21, it was ceramics is about 40%, polished vitrified is about 29%, and GVT glazed vitrified is about 31%.
Okay. And sir, if I see the quarterly realization trend for this quarter sequence on a Q-on-Q basis, I am seeing these numbers, all three, your own manufacturing, JVs and outsource, all of them have come off sequentially. Could you explain this?
Come off?
Have moderated Q-on-Q realization.
Realization has not moderated. Realization has gone up for same. Like first quarter, the realization of ceramics has slightly gone up. The other side basically maintained the same for two reasons. It is not one product that tells you what is the realization going. It is a product mix.
Right.
I said two things earlier. One, that sometime around first week of April, we have taken a price hike of 1 to 1.5% for all products. And secondly, on 1st of July, we have taken 3%. That maintained. But sometimes it also depends on what products you are making and what is the end realization coming.
Right. And on the GBT, how is the pricing trend, sir? Has it already bottomed out and you're seeing a positive traction in terms of
We have already taken a price hike, which is an indication that all that is right.
Yeah, so it is across all the three, product category you have been able to take similar increase.
All the three verticals.
Okay. And on the domestic, you mentioned that this year domestic total market size could remain flattish at 30,000 crore. And domestic, you're looking a 10% dip, right? From 20,000 crore to 18,000 crore.
As of now, that's a scenario.
Yeah. So in that scenario, a 15% volume growth.
Could be better both domestic and exports also.
Sorry?
If as of today, the situation looks like that domestic will be around 18,000 crores and exports will be 12,000 crores. If the situation becomes better, both numbers can change.
Right. No, I'm saying in this context, if the remain flattish or decline of 15% growth outlook that you're targeting, and they said I would include even you're looking for other national players. So how would that pan out? Are you, which sort of companies you're looking to lose market share?
See, it is happening already. It is happening already. GST has played an important role there. See, if you remember, before the GST came in, the tax structure was close to about 28 to 31%.
Right.
It was a central sale tax, and it was a state tax, and it was an excise. The combination was 28 to 31%. Today, GST has come to 18% as far as the industry is concerned. And the net impact of GST, because you get some odd weight, the net impact of GST is close to 13%. Now, the very simple thing is, if somebody wants to play around, it has cost also. The gap has minimized. So what has happened, the organized players have taken a bigger market, will take a bigger market share, and already started taking a bigger market share, number one. Secondly, when you talk about industry, you forget that dealers who have made showrooms in the last few years are also taking a bigger market share than the smaller players. Earlier, the people used to go to the smaller player, they used to say, "Bhai, go and take a picture out there and I will give you cheaper." That thing is over. Now you are going, you are seeing a product, you are seeing how it is displayed, and you take a decision in 10 minutes, कि भाई, I want to buy this kind of a product, whether it's a ceramic tile or a polish vitrified tile or a glaze vitrified tile. So that change has happened. So ultimately what will happen? Two things will happen. In the trade who have made bigger showrooms, they will have a bigger say and they will have a bigger share of the market. Secondly, those who have made, who are in part of GST will have a bigger, we will take over some of the market share, because that's what we have spent a lot of money in making these showrooms in the last 4 years since GST has come.
Okay, so it's more about the distribution, stronger distribution, which is helping you gain market share. Great, sir. I'll come back in queue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Girish Chaudhary from Spark Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for taking my question. Firstly, on the growth guidance, just to clarify, so the guidance of 15-16% volume growth for FY22, is it the rest of the year or for the entire FY22?
Full year. Full year, sir. Full year 15 to 16% volume growth, full year 20% revenue growth. Close to that.
Okay, because that sort of implies a 5% growth only for the remainder of the year. So considering the expectations of pent-up demand and the improved...
I can only give you a picture for the whole year. What it implies, I don't know. What I can tell you is that this is the scenario we are looking at.
Got it. Second, on the, again, clarity on price hikes and also the gas prices. So considering the current gas price scenario, which you had commented earlier, how much is the quantum of price hike required to maintain margin, roughly?
See, you are getting confused. I said two things. One, cost of packing boxes have gone up on 15th of March. Gas prices have gone up also in the last 6 months. We have taken this price hike. It's not in our hands to absolutely calculate to the pie that how much price hike I have to do. It all depends on market conditions, number one. Number two, as the market progresses, we are always forgetting one thing. We have just passed through a very severe pandemic, number two. Nobody talks about it. So you expect me to do miracles? I'm sorry, I cannot. As the situation develops, I also said that July has been more than normal. We have done 100% of the sales. As situation develops, we'll take that call. not possible to quantify how much has taken place, how much cost has gone up, and how much we have to do. It all depends on market conditions, how the market behaves.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shanti Patel from Shanti Patel Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My first question is, our market share in respect of various verticals in which we operate. And second question is, after GST, things are moving from unorganized sector to the organized sector. And if it is moving, then what will be the scenario over a period of 5 years?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Can you repeat both the questions, please?
Are you getting my voice?
Yeah, very loud, very loud.
Yeah. First question is, what is our market share in respect of various verticals in which we operate? And second question is, do you see shift from our unorganized sector to organized sector after GST has come into picture? And if so,
two things. Let me answer your second question first. There is no such thing as unorganized sector after GST. After GST, there are national players and there are regional players. Kajaria, Somany, Johnson, Asian Granitos, Simpolo, Varmora. Although Simpolo, Varmora is based in Morbi, Asian Granito is based in Himmatnagar, they are all national players. Then there are regional players who are based in Morbi and otherwise. So there is no such thing unorganized or organized. Those who are able to spend more, they can get a bigger market share. It all depends on what kind of money you are, what kind of effort you are doing, because they cannot be regional players only. Because if they are located in Morbi, to come to north and go to south is tough. So they are regional players. We are located, what is the advantage of Kajaria? Let's talk about that. We have part of the plants here in north, then we are feeding north and east. Then we have plants in west and south, we are feeding west and south. So this is how we are able to be a national player. So there is a difference between a national player and a regional player. But there is no such thing as organized or unorganized. They are paying GST, we are paying GST.
Now coming to first question, what is our market share in respect to various verticals in which we operate?
Currently, as I said, the industry size is 20,000 crores. We last year did, as far as tiles are concerned, about 2,508 crores roughly. Out of which, if you take out 70 crores of exports, the domestics should be about 2,430, something like that, which is about 12%. 12% of the total domestic industry is Kajaria's market share. Kajaria's vision is in next 2 to 3 years, Kajaria should have a 15% domestic market share. That's the vision of Kajaria. If we grow at 15% plus for the next 3 years, I think this is where we should reach.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal from JM Financial.
Yeah, thank you for the follow-up opportunity, sir. Sorry, I'm hopping on the industry question. In terms of the volumes, what would be the total capacity in the country, and of that, how much would be based in Morbi and outside Morbi, sir?
See, the total capacity is around 1150 million square meters, roughly. And Morbi should be about 70% of the total production in India. Then there is some capacities in Himmatnagar. Then there are individual plants like Kajaria, Somany and all that located rest of India. But Morbi should be about 70% of the total capacity in India.
And what is the increase are we looking at when we hear that 60-70 plants are expected to come into action over the next 6-8 months? What is the incremental capacity will go up by from, let's say, 11, 15, 17?
Listen to what Chetan said. All the expansions are delayed by 6 months due to 2 reasons. One, the pandemic, and secondly, non-availability and high cost of containers from China. So they are all delayed. Let the capacity come. As I said earlier, the exports will also go up. Some will also go to domestic. So as the scenario develops, we'll talk about it. Right now, that capacity is yet to come. So let's wait for a quarter before that capacity starts coming in shape.
Understood. And is it fair to say that most of the plants in Morbi have already moved to gas, or is there any element of coal usage still there?
No, there are 2 things. I think you are not fully informed. On 6th of March 1920, the NGT came with a decision that you cannot use coal. So all the kilns have been converted to gas-fired, and they are not using coal. The chain stove, which is non-polluted, is still on coal, and kilns, which was, a lot of pollution comes out of that coal, has switched over to gas. And they went to High Court, they went to Supreme Court, everything was rejected. Every single industry is on, but they are not. They can use gas, they can use LPG, they can use propane, but no coal.
Understood. That's very helpful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bharat Shah from ASK Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ashokji. Namaskar.
Kaise Bharat bhai, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Just one question. Given resounding success of the Morbi players, which are many, and each individual player per se is fairly small, the kind of success in exports that Morbi has notched up is remarkable. What are our thoughts in building up that as a second growth driver over a long term? And do we see that as important opportunity? And if so, then what are the plans?
Bharat bhai, two things. One, exports, they are doing an excellent job, no doubt about it. And from, as I said earlier, from 7,700 in 1920 to 10,000 crores in 2021 with 3 months of lockdown, believe me, they have done a great job. This year, the target is around 12,000 crores. They may end up doing better because if markets global scenario is good, they will do better. As far as Kajaria is concerned, you have to understand two things. One, we are the number one brand in the country. We also have a premium as far as the domestic sales are concerned. That's number one. Number two, the moment you go to exports, you are one of the players. Number three, what is the disadvantage of Kajaria and the Morbi players? The owners are sitting in Morbi. Most of the customers, they don't come to Kajaria, they don't go to Somani, they don't go here and there. They straight away go to Morbi. They know that there are so many plants, I will get what I want. The owners are there. They have an advantage and will continue to have an advantage because that's a base they have created for themselves. When it comes to domestic, we have an edge because we have dealer network out there. Now Morbi is very much not as far as domestic market is concerned, then the margins are also concerned. You see, in exports, the margins are, when you talk about Kajaria, you are expecting a much better margin. Now both cannot take place. So looking at that, I think exports will leave it as a distinct opportunity. We are doing some exports because we converted one line of Kosa for exports of glaze vitrified, but exports will always be less than 5% of what Kajaria will be doing.
I see. But with the interest subsidy and other export benefits that they get, what I...
Sir, koi export, no interest subsidy there. Number one, let me tell you, my background is of exports. For empty number of years I did exports, number one. Number two, you might be aware, MEIS was withdrawn, a lot of money is stuck. They were supposed to come out with a new policy on 1st of January this year by the Pillai committee. It is not taken a decision. आप किसी एक्सपोर्टर को पूछो फोन करके, बोला भैया क्या हुआ, वो बोलेगा सर मेरे आंख में आंसू आ रहा है और कुछ नहीं आ रहा. Whatever margins, small margins they have taken away. Nirmala Sitharaman ji रोज बोलती हैं कि भाई the policy is there, it will be coming any day, the money I am releasing. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. I am telling you from the lot of friends that I have, and I am aware of exports, nothing is happening.
Which means our focus, rightly so, would remain on the domestic market and to build the demand equity and to create a more profitable activity.
And as I said earlier, we are only about 12%. Believe me, we have a lot of room to grow. As you are aware, we had a lot of discussion. The bigger player in paints, Asian Paints, has a 40%, 45% market share. Kajaria has to do a lot of work to get into that league to have a market share of at least 15, 17, 18% of the domestic market. I think that's what we at Kajaria should look at, if you agree.
In fact, Asian Paints in the Bazaar segment, the home paint segment is 57-58%.
See, you have answered my point. You have answered my point. We have a lot of work to do, sir, together.
Okay. While it will be a guesswork and some kind of a conjecture, but if assuming that hopefully the impact of disease will keep kind of diminishing from here on, and at some stage it will be behind us. Looking at overall picture of the consumption trends and everything, what do you think the industry growth rate in the domestic market would look like over next 3 to 5 years?
The industry should grow at 10%, sir. If things become normal, the pandemic is over, industry per se, the domestic market should grow at 10% and export should grow at 20%. Whatever our figures are 2021, 21-22, sorry, whatever that figure will be, 22-23 onwards, the industry should grow at 10% in the domestic and 20% in exports.
Thank you, Ashokji, and all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Binod Modi from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, I just have one small question. You indicated that FY22 domestic revenue for the industry should be in the range of 18,000 odd crore. So what is the comparable number, sir, for FY21, FY20, and FY22, if you can guide me?
So the comparable number was 1920 was 21,000 crore, 2021 was 20,000 crore, and we're projecting 18,000 crore in 21-22 for domestic market.
Okay, so that is what I wanted to understand, sir. You were saying that domestic industry should grow at a rate of 10%, and whereas I think for overall in terms of revenue, we are expecting some sort of degrowth, and so I couldn't even understand.
I said 22-23 onwards. Going forward, next 3 years, he asked me this question. I said, Bharat Bhai asked this question. I said it should grow at 10% for domestic and 20% for exports, starting from 22-23.
Okay, got it. And last year, in previous phone call, you indicated that you would be adding around 150 dealers in this year. So have you added any number of dealers so far in this quarter, sir? That's all.
Sir, dealers are added regularly. What I said at that time was that we have to have exclusive dealers more, which has not been added because of pandemic, but going forward, as things become normal, October, March, we plan to add at least 50 to 70 dealers exclusive. Otherwise, dealers are added every year. Almost 200 dealers are added to Kajaria every year.
Got it. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Onkar Gugarde from Shree Consultancy. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what would be the broad range of margin you will be working on, taking into account the commodity prices rise which has happened, as well as when the things improve, taking into account the operating leverage?
I already answered that question.
This would be for a 2-3 year phenomenon, I'm asking, not a recent development.
No, I can't answer that for 2-3 years. I can't answer that. I said for the year 21-22, I'll be able to give a better indication at the end of the second quarter. 2-3 years, it's very difficult to do it.
And what could be the broad range of margin, I'm just asking?
I can't say. I'm sorry.
Okay. What would be the asset turnover ratio you are expecting on the 250 crore of capex?
What's that? Yeah, about 500 crores. 500 crore plus.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sujit Jain from ASK Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Ashokji, to a previous question, like you mentioned, in exports markets will be one of the players where you have premium here in India. I just wanted to check with you, how do you calculate or judge the ROI on the ANP, advertisement promotion spend that you do? Do you aspire for a position where a customer walks into a market asking for Kajaria brand?
First of all, we don't do any ROI.
We don't do in a very that time.
Yeah. Number one. Number two, you see, why you spend? Why Coca-Cola spends? Why Pepsi spends? to make their brand known, in spite of the fact all of us know what is Pepsi, what is Coca-Cola. If I remember correctly, a few years back I read an article, Pepsi is spending about $3 billion advertisement and Coca-Cola is also spending about $1.5 billion to $2 billion. The basic idea is to let people remember it, right? There is no direct linkage to what you are advertising and what result it gives you. It leaves a footprint in the minds of the person, that Kajaria is there. I think that's good enough. Rest of the job is done by the dealer. Because you see, if you are giving a right product to the dealer and he is making money, he will ensure that it sells. That ad doesn't give me any, ROI or anything calculate. Basically, in the mind of the customer should be there. Bhai, Kajaria available hai, dealer ke paas jata, maal kharidta. I think that's what we are also spending a lot is on making up of the dealer showrooms, because that's the important thing. Main agar ad karoon, if I do an ad and I don't upgrade the dealer showrooms to international level or good level, believe me, that ad has no meaning. So basically, it's a mix of ad, publicity, and also upgrading the dealer showrooms. That's where the results comes.
Got you. Thank you. And the other question is that the power cost went down to 15% in FY21. On a steady state basis, in a normalized year or a normalized quarter, assuming the increase in gas prices is passed on, what kind of power costs you can foresee?
See, power and gas are two different things. Power rates have not changed in India for the last couple of years. So power is more or less constant. Gas prices are roughly about 20 to 25% of the cost of production for the tile plant. So it depends. Last year, as I said, the average price of 2021 was about 28 rupees. This year already it has gone up to 32 to 35. Now, I don't know what the scenario would look like. So everything will depend on how the gas prices shape up.
Right, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. On the Morbi prices alone, when you mentioned that currently we are at 36 rupees, could you share the same number for Q1? What was the pricing at Morbi? Gas prices?
Oh, gas is about 36 rupees.
No, this is currently, right? In 2Q it is around 36. How was the prices in Q1?
My price right now is 35 rupees for Secunderabad in GAIL 4. For Morbi, the prices are not changed in the last 3 months. The last increase was about 3.5 months back. The first quarter prices were only at 35 rupees.
Okay, and it is at similar level even currently?
It is at similar level currently, but let me tell you off the record, it should go up any day.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's a certainty it will go up any day. It's a question of when.
Understood. And sir, when you're talking...
Why I tell you this, GAIL is the biggest player GAIL is the biggest player as far as gas is concerned. GSPC buys 50% of the gas from GAIL, right? If the GAIL is not getting the gas, they have increased prices, so ultimately they will also be selling at that price. GSPC has to increase the prices.
Okay. And secondly, when you talked about your aspiration to gain market share and from 12% and you're seeing 15% 3-year hence, given the market contraction that you're looking at and your strong growth that you yourself are looking at, I believe you would be crossing 15% this year itself.
No, I didn't say that. See, what I said was, when Bharat Bhai asked this question, I said, if situation remain normal, there's no impact of pandemic, 22-23, we should look at 10% growth of the domestic industry, 20% growth of the export. And we at Kajaria should grow at 15% plus. That's our vision.
Correct.
14%, 17% will be the outcome of that.
Right.
Our vision is next 2-3 years down the line, we should be 15% to 17% of the industry. That's what we are aiming at. And that's what the effort of Chaitanya Rishi is. Bhai, I have to get that market share. That's what they are looking at.
Great, sir. Yeah, that's all from my end, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ronald Sioni from Sharekhan. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. I just had one question with respect to solar power you are setting up. So an SPV is being formed. So what is the backdrop of this? Are you want to go towards more of solar power because you would be having a good amount of cash flows. So are you will be upcoming with new solar power projects? Yeah.
See, we have done two kinds of solar so far. One is a rooftop solar. We have installed at Gailpur. We have installed at Sikandrabad. We have installed at Balutana. The total capacity of all the three areas is about 6 megawatt of solar power, where we didn't have to have any cost at all. The supplier put up the plant, everything, and he gets depreciation. We get power at a fixed rate of 25 to 30% less than either Rajasthan prices or UP prices, depending on where the plant is put up. In this particular case, they are putting up 8 megawatt power plant. We have agreed to buy about 1.5 megawatt, and there is a condition: when you put up a plant, you have to have 26% equity. This equity will be recovered back in 14 months in this particular case, because it's not a rooftop, it's a normal solar where the prices will be about 30% less than what the UP government is charging to the Sikandrabad plant.
Right. So, do we want to have and further such kind of, so that, our power and fuel cost remains contained, or there is some alternate?
Depends on my requirement. If my minimum supply, I have to take it from those boards, and any balances I can go for this kind of contract, because minimum supply has to be from those boards.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Madhav Marda from FIL. Please go ahead.
So thanks for the follow-up. I actually did not understand why the industry would decline by 10%, considering that last year I think pandemic impact was much higher, and we went from 21 to 20,000 crores. In FY22, why should it come down by another 10%? I couldn't get my head around that.
You see, you couldn't because you are not part of the industry. Right. The unfortunate part is demand is very sluggish. The demand is just coming back. As I said earlier in my, somebody put a question to me, why it should be like that. I said, as of today, this scenario looks like that. If the situation improves on the ground level, the economy picks up, there is no third wave, definitely the numbers will go up. It may from 18,000, it may be 22,000, 21,000. The exports instead of 12,000 will be 15,000. It all depends on how the scenario plays out. We were hit very hard by the second pandemic in the month of April, May and June. A lot of states have not even opened sometime in June, right? Now July is the first month where we got normalcy. Let's wait for a couple of months. By end of second quarter, that means by end of September, lot of things will come out.
Okay. Because I understand completely take your point of view, so that we need more clarity, but at one end of the spectrum when we...
You see, you will agree with me, it's too early to talk about it. These numbers are projections. Now, nothing. We don't know what will happen in 22. The simple thing is, if the market improves, the government has been promising a lot of money on infrastructure. If the money comes on infrastructure, these numbers will go up. What simple. Right now, let me also tell you, the housing, the builders are not in good shape. So if somebody thinks they are in very good shape, no, it is not correct. They are not in good shape from financially. So everything will depend on how the government comes in infrastructure.
Because the reason I asked that question is that generally the news flow that we get, of course, this is all media articles, but they say that India housing cycle is expected to pick up and seems like we're in a good situation. That's what we hear. And
what I said was, FY21, the industry came down from 20,000 to 18,000 crores in domestic. Exports went up from 10,000 to 12,000 crores. And going forward, things become better. This number has to go up. Because you see, if Kajaria talks about 50% volume growth, there are others who are also aiming for that kind of a growth. There's no reason why it should be low. And we all hope and sincerely hope that it should be further better and better.
Absolutely. All right, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to paucity of time, we take one last question. That's from the line of Milind Suresh Raginwar from Centrum. Please go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity. Very basic question to understand is, for Morbi is there a replacement from domestic to export, or are there dedicated EOUs in Morbi catering to the export market, and domestic side is therefore, unaffected in that sense?
Two things. One, there are almost 600 units operating at Morbi number one, out of which about 62 units, which we last collected data, are exclusively for exports. But then there are others who are supplying to bigger manufacturers or JVs, or feeding the export market as well as local market. Now that scenario will keep on changing depending on the situation. But export per se will go up, and the reason being, we are, as I said, we are the second most competitive player after China. This freight scenario has also put India in a big advantageous position compared to China. Second, pandemic, as you know, lot of countries have become anti-China. So looking at that, the export scenario is positive for India. More exports will take place. It will leave the domestic market much more better, because there was a lot of pressure on the domestic markets in 1920, as you know. So with this, I think things have started changing. 2021 have been better, beyond our expectations in spite of pandemic. We are hoping that 21-22 will be even better.
Okay, right, sir. Two, I'm very well with you on seeing that it will be on the growth path. But as and very experienced players, what would be the early signs for us to look at the reversal of the current situation and things going back to normal? What would be the early signs that we as experienced player would look for to change our view on this?
See, two things the country has to watch out for. One, a lot of vaccination, no third wave or a mild third wave. Believe me, the economy is not going to look back. The interest rates are low in the country, as we are all aware. And as Rishi said in one of the earlier talks, work from home, a lot of people are going for bigger places. Somebody had a 2-bedroom flat, he is looking for a 4-bedroom. Somebody has a 4-bedroom flat, he is looking for a bigger house to make himself and family comfortable. More such construction is happening in smaller towns. Please go to smaller towns, you will know what is really happening in this country.
Okay. And any economic indicators apart from the social and the health indicators, any sharp economic indicators that we look for? Or
economic indicator छोड़ दीजिए यार, economic indicator से क्या करना? अपने को सरकार का काम है छापना, अपने को देखना economic indicator क्या करेगा? माल बिकना चाहिए, सब चीज ठीक है.
Okay. And third thing is, sir, on the other businesses, that is sanitary ware and ply, we gave the top line guidance. Anything we are looking at from an EBITDA perspective, will be there anything that we can put some color on?
Yeah, bath fitting and sanitary ware both will be positive, and they are already positive for the last 4 months of the year 2021. They will be further positive for the whole year. Ply last year lost about 11 crores. This year should lose about maximum of 5 crores, and going forward it will be neutral in 22-23, because they have added laminates as the turnover increases from 40 crores to 80 crores, and they have a bigger vision next year. I think ply will also be at least will not make any loss next year. This year it will lose about 5 crores.
Okay, and in the sanitary ware, we are factoring the cost inflation of the.
Yeah. Already the prices have gone up. All by Jaguar, by Hindware, by Cera, everybody has increased prices because the raw material costs have gone up.
Okay, right. That is it from my side. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Ritesh Shah for closing comments.
Thanks, Stanford. I'll hand over the call to Ashokji for if any final remarks. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I think a lot of interesting questions came, and I think we have tried to answer to the best of our ability. We'll continue to doing so, and any information further is needed. I think Sanjeev is there, Pallavi is there. They're always on call whenever any more information is required. Thanks a lot once again for organizing this. I thank on behalf of myself, Chetan and Rishi for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Investec Capital Services, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.